Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlie. Welcome if you are new here, welcome back if you are not. And today we're going to wrap up July with our August bullet journal spread. So yeah, hi. Hello everyone. How you doing? So today we are going to be doing a lemon themed spread. And I'm not sure where I got the idea to do lemons. Maybe I didn't have enough fruit in my bullet journal because the only fruit I have thus far are grapes. I know, another totally random bullet journal spread. But yeah, so I decided to do lemons, and I was very inspired to do something different because recently in my bullet journals, I have been trying to do spreads that look different. I know, that's a lot coming from someone who likes what she likes and doesn't like change. But yeah, I decided to do something a little different with this spread. AKA, I decided to write my title vertical instead of horizontal. I know, big change there, right? One day we will go back to the tabs, but today is not that day. So for the image, I was very inspired by all those lemon paintings that you see on social media. I don't know, maybe I don't know. I have no idea what to say about this spread because the idea of doing lemon themes just came out of nowhere. Like when I chose grapes, the theme came from my prompt job, but I was feeling very lemony today, very sour, and then I do end up doing a quote on the left-hand side because you can see where my July themed spread kind of bled through. So I just take a piece of paper, scrapbooking paper, and paste it on, and then I decided to write a quote. However, you will not see in the flip through what the final quote is because I wrote the quote about 2 days later after I finished filming. So the quote says, "We are lemon drops waiting for destiny." Yeah. Remember when I said I don't know what I was doing when I did this bullet journal spread? That's a summation of it. I don't know where this quote came from. I like the word lemon drops. So, yeah. And then I tried to make it deep by adding the word destiny, because when you talk about destiny, everything becomes so much more deep and philosophical, right? So if someone can explain to me what my quote means, I'd be very gracious. But for now, we are just lemon drops. We are all just floating lemon drops. And that is why I've chosen lemons, because we are all waiting for destiny. Yeah, even when I say it, I say it and I'm like, why did you write that, Charlie? But whatever. Anyways, back to the painting on the right-hand side, because I kind of skipped around there for a second. I drew a frame, just a very simple August frame, and then I'm just taking markers to color in my lemons. Now, originally I wanted to do some shading, like dark in the back and bright in the front. However, that didn't work so much because the colors that I was using weren't the same hue. Or rather, they were the same hue, but they weren't the same hue. They were the same tone, they weren't the same hue. And because the colors contrasted so differently, because the colors contrasted so greatly, it just looked like I had some oranges in my lemon tree. So that is that. But overall, while I would say that this cover spread isn't my favorite, I would say that it is really simple for anyone to do. And all you really need are something to color it with. And you don't even need that. Like, I used color here. I used a couple highlighters, some dual brush pens, literally anything that I had in the colors that I needed. And I wrote down my title. Not as minimalistic as my January spread, but more minimalistic than my June spread. My June spread was a doozy. Y'all go check that out if you would want to see some real coloring. Oh my hands get tired even just thinking about it. But yeah, so that is my lemon, and honestly, I also have to admit that I would get coloring in the background. Originally, I was just going to do something sketchy, but then I decided that I needed some more color because you know me, color is everything. And so while it did tie in the tones that weren't the same, like all the green leaves that I do later on, it does look a little too, I don't know, not boring, but it just doesn't pop, if that makes sense. But, you know, it is what it is, but I like it. Lemons for lemons. And this month is going to be a very short month. Like, unbelievably short, y'all, because for August, I'm not doing much. I have a lot of summer plans that I am very excited to put in action. And so, unlike my July spread and my June spread, we are going down to the basics. The basics. Yes, I am still using color, but my spread is going to be so simplistic that you could probably finish it in 5 minutes. The only reason why my video is a little longer is because I thought a lot. Well, I was coloring in my orange frame here, my lemon frame, sorry, not oranges. This is a lemon theme, not an orange theme. So yeah, and then once I was done, and because I was using water-based markers, you could also see all the lines that I originally colored in, like all the individual strokes. So you could see when I was going a different way, and for the most part, I'm totally fine with that. But I just think that, and I know I say this all the time, but I definitely think that I could have done a better job if I was painting it. But you know what? On a brighter note, I think I'm learning. The more I use markers in my bullet journals, the more I learn what I can do and what I can't do. And sometimes, you know what? I know what I can't do and I do it anyways just for the funs of it. And this is one of those times. And I think overall, despite my criticism, it actually turned out really good, and I really like the difference in between all my summer spreads. I think this is a great way to end off my very full summer spreads. Like, oh my gosh, May, June, July, my spreads have been way out of my league. Like, spreads that I probably wouldn't have done if it wasn't for, well, summer. But yeah, so now that we are done with that, you can see here I'm just picking out some papers, and next we are going to move on to a calendar spread. That is after I finished writing the quote, and you can see here that my font is very, very basic. All I did was some course of faux calligraphy, and it turned out fine. Nothing to like rave about, but I like it. I think it's okay. And next we're going to carry on now to our calendar spread. And my calendar spread is very basic. Like, July basic. So, for my calendar spread, I decided first, well, I outlined everything, of course, for good reason. And then I decided that because this month was so short, well, at least for me, I would give myself more time to make notes than to do other things. So I only used 1 page for my calendar notes. However, not that y'all see it, but I do have a jot notes. Well, you'll see it at the end in the flip through, but I have a jot notes page at the very end where I can just write all my notes for September, which will be very helpful. And this spread, I'm so proud of myself for my weekly spread and my calendar spread. I have to say that this weekly calendar spread almost rivals April for me. While I still adore my April theme to death, I think it is one of my best themes ever. I love it so much. It's just so nice to look at and stare at. Like, I could stare at my April theme all day, every day. My calendar spread and my weekly spread for August is just as nice. And here's how much effort I put into it. 0.1% of effort. For my April spread, most of what I did is, I don't even know if I used a ruler for all of this. I think for one of my weeks, I decided that I was too bored and I needed to use a ruler to draw out my boxes. But apart from that, I just totally winged it, and I loved it. So for my calendar spread, and I know I keep on talking about my calendar spread without really talking about it, so let's talk about it now. I used a very basic font, the same font that I used for the beginning title page, and then I decided to ink out my calendar in brown just for some difference and some uniqueness. And I kind of regret it because originally I drew out like the entire square, but I don't need the entire square because August starts on the Saturday, I believe, and ends, or Saturday or Monday. Wait, I should check that. August starts on the Monday. Maybe I should go back and definitely put in the weeks on my calendar spread so that I know, or maybe I should go back and put in the days on the calendar spread so I know what day it is, but I didn't think that through. So it starts on the Monday and ends on a Wednesday, so I have lots of space where I just have random blank boxes, and while I do like how that looks some of the time, I was not digging it for this. So you can see here that all I did for my calendar spread is I went in with a marker and colored in the background with loose lines. And the same thing goes for my weekly spread. Remember when I said it was super duper simple? Yeah, all I did was draw a box, a big rectangular box, write in 1 in cursive, and then I took a marker, the same marker that I used to color the background calendar spread, to write 1 and 2. And then I used the same color as my lemon on the calendar spread to color in the background. So very simple, but when you look at the spread as a whole, it looks so nice and it just gives that difference. And you can see what I mean when I say minimalism and empty, because literally all I did was leave myself 2 big boxes, 1 box per week. And that brings us to the end of our bullet journal spread setup for August. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and by the way, you can use this spread for any food, change up the colors, or just keep it as, minimalistic. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next journaling video or writing video or just any video in general next week, bye!